Hey, basketball fans, welcome back to Tips and Streams, your go-to spot for the hottest NBA regular season predictions. I'm Kokan, and I'm here to break down today's matchups and give you the edge you need to make the best bets. Before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. Your support means the world to us. Remember, our channel has no sponsors and relies solely on the love and support of viewers like you. Even a small donation by pressing the thanks button under the video helps us keep bringing you top-notch content every day. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow basketball enthusiasts. And we love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know what you want to see in our forecasts. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you the content you crave. Let's jump right into today's NBA predictions. We've got some exciting games lined up, so stay tuned and let's get that winning streak going. Today we have predictions for 6 NBA games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Miami Heat and Washington Wizards. This Saturday, I've got my eye on the Washington Wizards taking on the Miami Heat, a matchup with potential for fireworks but plenty of underlying storylines too. Both teams are still navigating some early season challenges, each with a unique set of strengths and weaknesses that could shape how this game unfolds. Miami's bringing their experience and defensive intensity, while Washington leans into their scoring threats, making this a real clash of contrasting styles. Now, Miami's season has been a mixed bag so far. They stumbled in their opener against the Orlando Magic, bounced back with wins over the Charlotte Hornets and Detroit Pistons, but then had their defense exposed in a 106-117 loss to the New York Knicks. With a largely unchanged roster, the Heat will once again lean heavily on Jimmy Butler's leadership, Bam Adebayo's presence, and Tyler Herro's scoring punch. Herro, in particular, has been lighting it up, dropping 34 points, grabbing 5 rebounds, and dishing out 7 assists against the Knicks. He's a crucial piece for Miami's offense, especially given that scoring consistency has been a challenge for them. One stat that stands out for Miami is their top-tier assist-to-turnover ratio, highlighting their disciplined ball movement. This efficiency could really work to their advantage against a Washington defense that's had its share of struggles. But Miami has to tighten up on the defensive end, where they've shown uncharacteristic cracks. Known for their hard-nosed style, they've allowed too many easy buckets lately. If they want to control this game, they'll need to impose a slower defensive pace and stop the Wizards from turning this into a track meet. On the flip side, Washington's coming in with a bit of momentum after back-to-back wins over Atlanta, which has given them a nice morale boost. But long-term, there are still some question marks surrounding this team. The Wizards made waves by picking Alex Sarr as their second overall draft pick, a move that's raised some eyebrows. Right now, though, it's Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma carrying the offensive load. Poole's putting up over 22 points per game, and Kuzma's contributing about 17, despite battling some minor injuries. Young talent Bilal Coulibaly has also shown flashes, scoring 27 points with 9 rebounds against the Hawks. Defensively, though, Washington's got a real problem. They're letting teams drop an average of 124 points on them, a stat that won't fly against a disciplined Heat squad. If they don't tighten up, Miami's efficient playmaking could exploit every gap. The Wizards need to find some defensive structure fast because Miami won't let them off easy. This one looks like it'll come down to defense, and that's where Miami holds the edge. The Heat's experience, efficient ball movement, and ability to control the tempo will put the Wizards in a tough spot. Washington's offensive firepower can keep them in the game, but their shaky defense could ultimately be their downfall. I believe Miami will grind out a win and cover the spread, relying on their defense and Herro's scoring to seal the deal. This is a chance for the Heat to make a statement, proving they're ready to compete in the East despite a rocky start. I expect Miami to come away with a solid win, setting the tone for a season where they'll need to find that consistency to stay competitive.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The second prediction for today is for a game between the Memphis Grizzlies and Philadelphia 76ers. As the Philadelphia 76ers gear up to face the Memphis Grizzlies, we're in for a classic showdown between two teams finding their footing early in the season. Memphis, coming off an eye-catching 122-99 win over the Milwaukee Bucks, seems to be gaining traction with a balanced 3-3 record. On the other hand, the 76ers are struggling at 1-3, hampered by the absence of stars Joel Embiid and Paul George. With both players confirmed out for tonight, Philadelphia's hopes rest heavily on Tyrese Maxey, whose bursts of brilliance haven't quite been enough to elevate the team so far. For the Grizzlies, the impact of Ja Morant's return has been undeniable. His triple-double performance against the Bucks highlighted his ability to fuel Memphis's offense, opening opportunities for key players like Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane. Morant's presence on the court this season has sparked a noticeable shift, backed by Marcus Smart's defensive grit and Santiago Aldama's growing confidence. Plus, rookie Zach Edey has added a fresh element to the Grizzlies' rotation, giving them depth in critical moments. Despite their progress, Memphis has shown some inconsistencies, especially on the road, with unexpected results like a recent loss to Houston. However, they're proving capable of implementing a game plan grounded in defensive pressure and strong rebounding, which could challenge a 76ers squad struggling to establish an identity in Embiid and George's absence. Philadelphia's early season woes are apparent in their record, with Maxey stepping up as the lead scorer, averaging over 31 points per game. Still, the Sixers feel the void left by Embiid's dominant inside play and George's offensive versatility. Their search for a win at home continues, with recent losses to the Pistons and Bucks exposing gaps in scoring depth. Kelly Oubre has offered some support, but Philadelphia's limited bench depth is a growing concern, especially against a well-rounded team like Memphis. For Philadelphia to have a shot, they'll need to control the tempo and limit Memphis's ability to drive the pace. Without Embiid's rim protection, though, the Grizzlies could exploit the Sixers' interior and keep the game in their hands, leaning on solid half-court sets. Looking at tonight's matchup, I'm not entirely confident in picking a winner with Philly missing key players and Memphis fresh off a confidence-boosting win. Rather than taking a side, I expect a slower game, with Memphis trying to dictate the tempo and Philadelphia struggling to create scoring chances without its stars. Given the Grizzlies' defensive strengths and the Sixers' offensive struggles, I see this one falling under 223 points. From where I stand, it's a grind-it-out kind of game, with each team working hard to maximize every possession. I'm leaning toward the under at 223 total points, anticipating a low-scoring contest as both teams prioritize defense over offense. My final take? A tightly contested game, with Memphis holding a slight edge, but not by a wide margin. I expect this one to stay well below 223 points, with both sides grinding it out. The third prediction for today is for a game between the Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets. This Saturday's clash between the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets is set to be a gritty Western Conference battle. The Warriors come in hot with a 4-1 record, showing resilience even in Stephen Curry's absence due to an ankle injury. Meanwhile, the Rockets, currently 3-2, have shown flashes of potential, but continue to grapple with inconsistency. With both teams emphasizing defense, I expect a slower-paced, strategic game, where efficiency will trump fast breaks. The Warriors' start has been solid, adapting impressively despite injuries and key roster changes. After their only loss to the Clippers in the game where Curry got injured, they've strung together wins, notably overpowering the Pelicans twice. Buddy Hield, a new addition to the lineup, has been stellar, averaging 21.2 points per game and hitting 50% from deep. His presence adds a new layer to Golden State's offense, compensating for Curry's absence. Andrew Wiggins, another key piece, has been managing some minor injuries, but is expected to ramp up his contribution as the season unfolds. Coach Steve Kerr is also relying more on young talents like Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski, creating a balanced lineup with veterans like Draymond Green anchoring the defense. Golden State's teamwork-first approach, highlighted by their league-best 31.6 assists per game, keeps them competitive, even without their superstar. Under new head coach Ime Udoka, the Rockets have shown potential, but they're still seeking consistency. They had a notable win over Dallas recently, but a loss to the Hornets at home shows there's room for improvement. With Jalen Green leading the charge, averaging 27.6 points per game, and the return of big man Steven Adams, The Rockets have both skill and grit. However, Sengun's ups and downs have added some unpredictability to their game, and for Houston to make a real push, they'll need him to find his rhythms. A bright spot for Houston has been their dominance on the offensive glass, leading the league with 22.2 offensive rebounds per game. Veteran guard Fred VanVleet's addition has provided leadership, and his playmaking could prove pivotal against the Warriors' defense. With both squads prioritizing defense, I anticipate a slower tempo. Houston ranks 6th in defensive rating, while Golden State will look to control the pace without Curry, focusing on half-court sets and defensive stops. Given the home advantage and Houston's solid defensive numbers, they pose a tough challenge. But with the Rockets' occasional struggles and heavy reliance on Green, the Warriors' well-oiled, team-centric style might keep them close. I'm leaning towards the Warriors to cover the spread, especially with Hield's shooting and Wiggins stepping up. Expect a lower-scoring game as both teams adopt a conservative, defense-heavy approach, making the under 218 on total points a smart play here. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the Cleveland Cavaliers and Milwaukee Bucks. The Cleveland Cavaliers and Milwaukee Bucks square off in what promises to be a thrilling clash, with both teams on very different trajectories this season. Cleveland has burst out of the gates with an undefeated record, looking sharp and consistent, while Milwaukee has stumbled early, struggling to find their rhythm. Let's dig into what to expect from this matchup, where Cleveland aims to stay hot, and Milwaukee is desperate to snap out of their funk. Cleveland's offense has been electric, putting up 125.6 points per game, second best in the league. The Cavaliers are not only scoring, but doing so efficiently, shooting 53.9% from the field and a remarkable 41.1% from three-point range. They've cracked 134 points in 3 different games already, showing that their offensive firepower is no fluke. In their latest win, they shot 57.7% while committing just 12 turnovers, with Jared Allen and Darius Garland stepping up big time. Allen put up 20 points on 9 of 12 shooting with 17 rebounds, while Garland added a double-double with 12 points and 10 assists. Defensively, Cleveland has held firm, allowing just 107.4 points per game, good for 5th in the league. Their defense isn't impenetrable but solid enough, holding teams to 44% shooting from the field and 34% from 3. They've also been disruptive, averaging 12 steals and 6 blocks per game. Evan Mobley, with his 19.2 points and 8.2 rebounds, has been a key piece on both ends, adding 2 blocks per game to anchor their defense. On the other side, Milwaukee has struggled to get going. After a season-opening win, they've dropped 4 straight games, managing only 111 points per contest, which ranks 23rd in the league. In their last outing, they scored just 99 points, shooting an uninspiring 42.7% from the floor and only 21.4% from deep. Even Giannis Antetokounmpo's 37 points and 11 rebounds weren't enough to avoid the loss, underlining Milwaukee's deeper offensive woes, especially without Chris Middleton in the lineup. Giannis has been doing everything he can, averaging 30.4 points and 11.6 rebounds, but he's missing consistent help. Turnovers have plagued the Bucks too, with 14.4 per game, which is breaking up their offensive flow. Defensively, they've been just as vulnerable, allowing a hefty 119.6 points per game. Their opponents have been feasting, shooting 46.7% from the field and 35.9% from three-point land, as Milwaukee's defensive cohesion has been lacking. A key storyline here is the rest factor. Milwaukee had Friday off, giving them a day to recover, while Cleveland is on a back-to-back after handling business against Washington the previous night. While Cleveland has looked unfazed by their schedule so far, fatigue could impact them, especially if Milwaukee comes out strong from the get-go. There's also some noise around Milwaukee's camp, with murmurs of dissatisfaction from Damian Lillard and even trade rumors swirling around Giannis if things don't improve. Whether there's truth to these rumors or not, it might hint at some chemistry issues for the Bucks. The Bucks and Cavaliers split their 4 matchups last season, and with Milwaukee having home court and an extra day of rest, some might see them as the favorite. But Cleveland's consistency on both ends of the floor gives them a clear edge here. I think Cleveland's offensive firepower and solid defense will be tough for Milwaukee to match, especially with their recent struggles. In the end, I expect a close game, but I believe Cleveland has the tools to keep their perfect record intact. I'm going with Cleveland to stay undefeated, and for those looking at the totals, I'm leaning under 234.5 points in this one. The fifth prediction for today is for a game between the Portland Trail Blazers and Phoenix Suns. As the Portland Trail Blazers get ready to take on the Phoenix Suns, We're looking at a classic underdog scenario against a title contender. Portland might be in rebuilding mode, but they've shown flashes of potential early in the season. Meanwhile, the Suns are loaded with firepower, aiming to establish themselves as one of the league's most dominant teams. Portland has had some promising moments on the road, including a thrilling fourth-quarter comeback to beat the Los Angeles Clippers, a game where they covered the spread as underdogs. Following a matchup against Oklahoma City, the Blazers are hitting the road again, starting with Phoenix marking the first game in a challenging four-game road swing. Offensively, Portland ranks toward the bottom of the league, scoring around 107 points per game, but they've shown they can shoot efficiently, as seen in their victory over the Clippers, where they hit 44.6% from the field and 42.4% from deep. Anthony Simons is leading the scoring charge, backed by promising rookie Scoot Henderson and solid performances from Deni Avdija. Defensively, Portland is holding its own, allowing 112.8 points per game, right around the league average. Their ability to hold the Clippers to just 105 points was a testament to their growing defensive effort. On the other hand, the Suns are rolling. After a slightly rough start, they've picked up impressive wins, including against the Mavericks, Lakers, and Clippers. They're not only favorites for this game, but also coming off back-to-back wins over Portland. Averaging 116 points per game, the Suns' offense ranks in the top 10. Devin Booker's been on a tear, recently dropping 40 points with strong contributions across the board. Add in Kevin Durant and key support from role players, and Phoenix's offensive depth looks like it could be too much for Portland's defense to handle. While Portland's defense has shown improvement, adopting a gritty, defense-first mentality, they face a steep challenge against Phoenix's high-powered offense. With Booker averaging over 26 points and Durant nearly 27, the Suns have the kind of scoring punch that Portland's young lineup might struggle to contain. So, here's what I think. While the Suns have a clear advantage and should win this matchup, Portland's defensive improvements could keep them within reach. Given the generous spread, I believe taking the Blazers with the points is the play here. They may not come out on top, but they've shown enough grit lately to make things interesting. Before we move on, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing might seem like a small action, but it actually makes a big impact for us. Plus, it's completely free for you. Have you clicked that subscribe button? Awesome, thank you so much for your support. Now let's dive back into the video. The sixth prediction for today is for a game between the Oklahoma City Thunder and Los Angeles Clippers. Tonight's Western Conference showdown between the Los Angeles Clippers and Oklahoma City Thunder promises plenty of intrigue. The Thunder are coming off a back-to-back, having played Portland just last night, while the Clippers have had extra time to regroup and prepare. This dynamic creates a unique situation, with both teams eager to make an early season statement. The Clippers, however, remain a bit of a mystery. They're 0-3 at home, but undefeated on the road, 2-0, puzzling fans who anticipated their state-of-the-art arena would boost their home court edge. Despite the fresh facility, the Clippers haven't found their groove in LA yet, which might stem from the pressure of high expectations or the need to adapt to new team dynamics. Coming off a narrow 125-119 loss to the Phoenix Suns, the Clippers have shown they can stay competitive, but they haven't closed out games at home. Their lineup has been hit with absences, as star players like Paul George were traded to Philly and Kawhi Leonard sidelined, while PJ Tucker and Mo Bamba are day-to-day. Depth is thin, but there are positives. Ivica Zubac has been a force inside, racking up double-doubles, while Derek Jones Jr. is adding some needed defense. James Harden and Norman Powell have chipped in offensively, but it hasn't been enough for a decisive home win. Meanwhile, the Thunder come in as one of the league's most formidable defensive teams. With a defensive rating allowing just 91.3 points per 100 possessions, and a high-powered offense outscoring opponents by 17.1 points, they've secured the NBA's third-best net rating. This balance makes Oklahoma City a tough team to crack, standing in stark contrast to the Clippers' inconsistency. Yet, the second night of a back-to-back could weigh on them. While they've shown resilience in these situations, they weren't often up against rested opponents like the Clippers. Fatigue could chip away at their defensive tenacity, especially as the game wears on. Historically, the Thunder haven't fared well in LA against the Clippers. In their last 5 matchups at Crypto.com Arena, they've only covered the spread twice and won just once. Recent games between these teams have also leaned toward higher scoring affairs, hinting we might see another points-heavy contest tonight. With the Clippers boasting a 10-1 home record against the Thunder in recent years, they have a psychological edge here. Despite Oklahoma City's early season momentum, this isn't a straightforward matchup for them. The Clippers have an opportunity to show up for their home crowd and prove they can defend their court. Given the context, I see a slight edge for the Clippers. Oklahoma City's fatigue from back-to-back games could lower their defensive intensity, creating openings for the Clippers to exploit, especially in the second half. While I expect the Thunder to keep things tight, the Clippers have enough firepower and rest advantage to stay competitive. In my view, betting on the Clippers to cover the spread is a solid choice, given their strong home record against the Thunder. Oklahoma City is the hotter team right now, but the Clippers might have just enough to pull this one out, or, at the very least, keep it close.